This is my slideshow, and I will be presenting to you the sport called football. Start off with an introduction. It's they call football the gridiron sport. Football is meant to be physical, aggressive, and of course challenging because you have two opponents playing against each other. History is that it's a combination of two sports just put together. It's pretty much a combination of rugby, you can see in that right picture, and soccer in the left picture. Football became popular, rapidly became popular in the United States in the 1820s. In earlier football, there was no no set rules to play. You just pretty much play the game with no rules. And then later in 1880,
hold on, stop the recording.
How do you stop it?
Stop it.
That's gonna be
The red button?
So at camps, which is camp is where the team, a set team, is supposed to go to a camp that they're trained to play the game. They lift weights, they run plays, they practice. Basically, a practice just a long setup period, just over a long time. Rules 1882 into 1888. Rules changed drastically. New things were introduced. They had a system of downs and yardage, and you have to gain yards in order to renew your downs or have a new set of downs. And then the thing was, you have 10 yards and you have four downs to get past 10 yards. And if you fail to get the 10 yards and 4 downs, the ball was switched over to the other team, which is called a turnover. And then there's 11 players that are on the field, 22 altogether, 11 on offense, 11 on defense. There's usually 7 forwards, which are the linemen and receivers, and then there's also the fullback and the tailback, which play in the back of the quarterback, who's behind one of the forwards, which is called the center. And the rules was you have to tackle the person with the football. So whoever was running the ball, defense had to try and tackle it. And then offense, of course, was try to score a touchdown. And defense, of course, tries to keep them from scoring a touchdown. Then they introduced penalties. Penalties vary from 5 yards to 10 to 15 yards, depending on how severe the penalty was. And for like an example, a delay of game is when the offense takes too long to run a play. It's 5 yards that they move back. They get the penalty. Right. So yeah. And then there's other rules, like there's something they call a horse collar, as if a player grabs the back of their pad over here and pulls them down. That's a 15-yard penalty. There's also something called face mask, where the defense or defense or offense is grabbing the opponent's face mask. They penalize him, and that's usually a 15-yard penalty.
I want to pause it again.
Things they wear was, the picture didn't come up.
If you copy paste it into PowerPoint, that's what happens. You're gonna have to upload it to your computer.
Other pictures show it though. Okay, sorry. I'll just go on. And the clothing that they would wear is, of course, a helmet, paddings. It's called a shoulder pad. Shoulder pads is things that cover your chest from your shoulders, and it protects you from contact, and also your helmet protects your head. Then they also have things called hip pads and then tailbone pads, which cover pretty much your waist. And then they have thigh pads and they have knee pads. It's just a regulation that they put into the rule book that players have to use. And then they also have cleats, shoes, cleats like soccer shoes or like that. Basically, it was just to protect you from when you got hit or if you fell down. Because apparently football was a rough sport. A lot of people got hurt playing football. And like in the older like in the 1820s when they first started having football, they didn't have the helmets, like this sturdy helmets. They had those leather heads, which you guys know what that is. But yeah, so football really changed over the years. A lot of new things have been involved. Like there was just a new, I just found this out. I didn't put it into my PowerPoint, but there's a new rule that's called, it's called flagrant hitting. And if a person hits someone too hard, give them a concussion or hurts them, then they get fined, depending on how severe the hit was. So yeah, so football is really intense. And that's all. Thank you.
But if we were going to play this today, we were not going to be doing contact. Can you explain to your class how we were going to do it and what we're going to play and what's the difference?
Okay. We wouldn't, of course, we wouldn't be playing contact with. One, we don't have the utilities to do it with. Two, you have to do a bunch of training and conditioning before you start even using the pads. But the way we would play it is called flag football. Basically, you wear a flag around your waist, and you wear a belt around your waist that attaches the flags to it. And like I said, offense, try to score. Defense, try to keep them from scoring. And defense have to pull the flag off the runner of the ball, who had the ball, to make him down, or to pretty much, without tackling him, tackle him. So that's the way we would play it. And this is called football, but the one we would play is actually called flag football. So the difference, you're not tackling in flag football. Of course, will be a little physical roughness, but you're not tackling. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.